Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining Srimad Bhagavatam class and attentive japa this morning. We'll continue from last time. We're still talking about Kardama, well, his son, Kapil Muni, and Devahuti Mata. So this pastime is still going on, and it's going to go on for a couple more weeks, and then we'll move on to Canto 4. So today we're talking about description by Lord Kapila of adverse fruitive activities. So this is very interesting. We'll make a start. First of all, just give me a second, please. Okay. I'm just going to sort something out. Right, so the personality of Godhead said, as a mass of clouds doesn't know the powerful influence of the wind, a person engaged in material consciousness doesn't know the powerful strength of time factor. So this, today we're talking a lot about time, how time is very powerful and how it affects us. Strength of time factor by which he's being carried. The great politician Pandit named Chanakya said that even one moment of time cannot be returned, even if one is prepared to pay millions of dollars. So this is how precious time is. Even one moment, we cannot buy in one moment for millions and millions of dollars. One cannot calculate the amount of loss there is in wasting valuable time, either materially or spiritually. One should be very alert in utilizing the time that he has at his disposal. A conditioned soul lives in a particular body for a fixed measurement of time. And it is recommended in the scriptures that within that small measurement of time, one has to finish Krishna consciousness and thus gain release from the influence of time factor. This is what we were saying last week, that when you're born, you're born with expiry date, and you must get Krishna consciousness within that time. Otherwise, you have lost your opportunity. You don't know whether you will get the opportunity again in your next birth. But unfortunately, those who are not in Krishna consciousness are carried away by the strong power of time without their knowledge, as clouds are carried by the wind. So this is the situation. Let's do a quick prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukham Kroti Vachalam Pangum Lamyate Gurim Yat Kirpatam Hamande Shri Gurum Deem Taranam Brahmananda Madhvam Shri Chaitanya Ishram. Hari Om Tassat. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udiriyet nasta preshava bhatireshu nityam bhagavad sevya bhagavati uttam shloke bhakti bhavati neshtiki. Hare Krishna. So this is the situation with the time factor. Whatever is produced by the materialist with great pain and labor for so-called happiness, the Supreme Personality as the time factor destroys, and for this reason the conditioned soul laments. So in Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna says, I am time. And as time, he destroys everything. We may spend all our life building our wealth, whether it's in terms of family or in terms of money, finance. But everything eventually is destroyed, or we are left without, we live without it. The main functional time factor, which is a representative of the Supreme Personality Godhead, is to destroy everything. The materialists in material consciousness are engaged in producing so many things in the name of economic development. They think that by advancing in satisfying the material needs of man, they will be happy, but they forget that everything they have produced will be destroyed in due course of time. So, we must always remember that whatever we are building, we're spending so much time on, is only temporary arrangement. So it's just illusion what we are doing. From history, we can see that there were many powerful empires. So we can see from the past, if you want to learn any lessons, then you see what happened, see examples from the past. Many powerful empires on the surface of the globe that were constructed with great pain and great perseverance, but in due course of time, they have all been destroyed. So you see in every country that they've had great empires, especially India. So many different empires have come and gone. And, one empire goes, another one takes over, just like that. Then that one goes, another one will come after that. We had such great kings in India, they've come and gone. Still, the foolish materialists cannot understand they are simply wasting time in producing material necessities, which are destined to be vanquished in due course of time. This waste of energy is due to the ignorance of the mass of people who don't know that they are eternal and they have an eternal engagement also. They don't know that this span of life in a particular type of body is but a flesh in the eternal, or a flash rather, but a flash in the eternal journey. So we think about millions and trillions of years. So this life is just a one small like flash. What is 100 years compared to millions and trillions of years? It's nothing. But we think this is everything, but it's not. It's just one little speck in our journey. Not knowing this fact, they take the small flash of life to be everything, and they waste time in improving economic conditions. So this is the problem we have. We only think far as economic conditions. We don't think what is above that. The misguided materialist doesn't know that his very body is impermanent, and that the attractions of home, land, and wealth, which are in relationship to the body, are also temporary. Out of ignorance only, he thinks that everything is permanent. So the materialist thinks that persons engaged in Krishna consciousness are crazy fellows wasting time by chanting Hare Krishna. And we get that. People tell us that you're wasting your time. But actually, he doesn't know that he himself is in the darkest region of craziness because of accepting his body as permanent. And in relation to his body, He accepts his home, his country, his society, and all other paraphernalia as permanent. This materialistic acceptance of the permanency of home, land, etc. is called the illusion of Maya. A Krishna conscious person knows that this economic development of human society is but temporary illusion. So in another part of Srimad Bhagavatam, the acceptance of the body as oneself, the acceptance of others as kinsmen in relationship to this body, and the acceptance of the land of one's birth as worshipable are declared to be the products of an animal civilization. When, however, one is enlightened in Krishna consciousness, he can use these for the service of the Lord. That is very suitable proposition. Everything has a relationship with Krishna. When all economic development and material advancement are utilized to advance the cause of Krishna consciousness, a new phase of progressive life arises. So instead of using everything for our own purpose or fulfilling our own dreams, everything can be used in service of Krishna. The living entity, in whatever species of life he appears, finds a particular type of satisfaction in the species. Now, this is very interesting. And I was discussing with somebody about this, that however we look in the human form, we are always attracted to ourselves. We look in the mirror. Doesn't matter what people think of us, we think, yeah, we are great, right? And it doesn't go far, it goes beyond that. That whatever species you're in, so whether you're a reptile or a cat or a dog or whatever, that particular, the soul is under illusion with that body and is happy with that body. This is an interesting thing. So the living entity, in whatever species of life he appears, finds a particular type of satisfaction in that species. And he is never averse to being situated in such a condition. The satisfaction of the living entity in a particular type of body, even if it is most abominable, is called illusion. A man in a higher position may feel dissatisfaction with the standard of life of a low-grade man, but the lower grade man is satisfied in that position because of the spell of Maya, the external energy. Maya has two phases of activities. One is called Prakship Atmika and the other is called Avarn Atmika. Now, Avarn Atmika means covering and Prakship Atmika means pulling down. In any condition of life, the materialistic person or animal will be satisfied because his knowledge is covered by the influence of Maya. In the lower grade or lower species of life, the development of consciousness is so poor that one cannot understand whether he's happy or distressed. This is called Avarnatmika. So even a hog who lives by eating stool finds himself happy. This is the amazing thing. Even a hog who lives by eating stool finds himself happy. Although a person in a higher mode of life sees that the hog is eating stool, how abominable that life is. But the hog is happy. He doesn't know anything else. He's happy with that. The conditioned living entity is satisfied in his own particular species of life, while deluded by the covering influence of the illusory energy. He feels little inclined to cast off his body, even when in hell, for he takes delight in hellish enjoyment. So he says there, even in hell, you are given a special body, and the person that is becomes satisfied with that. He gets used to it. He thinks this is fine. I'm happy. Because actually it goes to show that we find some happiness in everything. It doesn't matter what condition we are in, we find our happiness somehow. And we are happy in our situation. We become comfortable in our situation. But it's wrong. That is wrong. This is the thing. It is said that once Indra, the king of heaven, was cursed by his spiritual master Brihaspati on account of his misbehavior, and he became a hog on this planet. So this is an example. So after many days, when Brahma wanted to recall him to his heavenly kingdom, Indra, in the form of a hog, forgot everything of his royal position in the heavenly kingdom, and he refused to go back. So this is the thing. He was happy, he had become happy, he became used to that position. This is fine. This is the spell of Maya. Even Indra forgets his heavenly standard of life and is satisfied with the standard of a hog's life. By the influence of Maya, the conditioned soul becomes so affectionate towards this particular type of body that he is offered. So give up this body and immediately you will have a king's body. And he would not agree. So Brahma is saying that, please give this hog's body. You are a king. So please accept the body of the king and come back with me to the heavenly planet. So he says, no, I'm happy with my hog's body. Because in the hog's body, the stool is tasting nice to him. He has a family, I'm sure. He has friends as a hog as well. He has friends and family. Yeah, he lives in a society. So he's so attached to that he doesn't want to go anywhere else. He's happy with this situation. So Lord Krishna, this attachment strongly affects all conditioned living entities. Lord Krishna is personally canvassing. Give up everything in this material world. Come to me and I shall give you all protection. So Krishna is happy. He's calling us that you can come to me after this life, do something in this life that you become qualified to come back to me. But we are happy with our situation. What we're saying, why should I go into all that? Obviously, if you want to go to this high position of Krishna, the spiritual world, then you have to be completely pure. And for that, we have to make some effort that a lot of devotees are making. We have to make the effort. But a lot of people think, well, what's wrong with this body? What's wrong with this life? What's wrong with this universe? Don't see any problem. Why do we need to make the extra effort? And why do we need to go any spiritual world? We're happy here. Why? There's no need. They are happy to be born again. But they don't know whether they will come back in a similar situation. Why should we surrender to Krishna and go back to his kingdom? This is called illusion or Maya. Everyone is satisfied with his standard of living, however abominable it may be. Oh. Now, this is Lord Kapila explained to his mom that this is the situation of the human people, or any living entity in this case. Such satisfaction with one's standard of living is due to deep-rooted attraction for body, wife, home, children, animals, wealth, and friends. In such association, the conditioned soul thinks himself quite perfect. So in any kind of body we have, we build our little world, isn't it? Like in chapter 15, it tells you about the banyan tree, that we build our little world in whatever situation we are, with whatever type of body we have. We build a little world, and in the little world we are happy. We think this is fine. We don't need to do anything else. We have friends, we have children, we have everything. We are happy in that situation. This so-called perfection of human life is a concoction. So if you think that is the right thing, then that's a concoction. Therefore, it is said that the materialist, however materially qualified he may be, is worthless because he's hovering on the mental plane, which will drag him again to the material existence of temporary life. One who acts in the mental plane cannot get promotion to the spiritual. Such a person is always sure to glide down again to material life. In the association of so-called society, friendship, and love, the conditioned soul appears completely satisfied. Although he's always burning with anxiety, such a fool always performs all kinds of mischievous activities with the hope which is never to be fulfilled in order to maintain his so-called family and society. So it is said that it is easier to maintain a great empire than to maintain a small family. And why is that? Because especially these days when the influence of Kali Yuga is so strong that everyone is harassed and full of anxieties because of accepting the false presentation of Maya's family. The family we maintain is created by Maya. It is the perverted reflection of the family in Krishna Lok. In Krishna Lok, there are also family, friends, society, father and mother. Everything is there, but they are eternal. Here, as we change bodies, our family relationships also change. So our wife, our children, our friends change anyway. You find with time. How often, we have 10 years ago, we had different friends, 20 years ago, we had different friends. We have some friends now, then they will change. That keeps you. And with life, even wives change. And in the next life, obviously everything changes. You have new relationships altogether. Sometimes we are in a family of human beings, sometimes in a family of demigods, sometimes a family of cats, or sometimes a family of dogs. Family, society, and friendship are flickering, and they are called asat. It is said that as long as we are attached to this asat, temporary, non-existing society and family, we are always full of anxieties. The materialists don't know that the family, society, and friendship here in this material world are only shadows. So we are chasing shadows basically, and thus they become attached. Naturally, their hearts are always burning, but in spite of all inconvenience, they still work to maintain such false families because they have no information of the real family association with Krishna. So what it says here, obviously there's a balance we have to draw. I mean, we do have to live in this material world with this material body. But what it's saying is that we should not be completely engrossed in material life. We have to remember that we also have spiritual responsibilities as well. This is the thing. So we have two dharmas. Right? It's Sanatana Dharma and Swadharma. Here we talk about Swadharma. Some people are completely absorbed in this Swadharma, serving families, society, community, country. They forget their Sanatana Dharma, which is to serve Krishna as well. Krishna, and sometimes people forget their responsibilities and only serve Krishna, but there is a way that you engage everything in Krishna's service. So you include the Swa and the Sanatan together. He gives heart and senses to a woman who forcefully charms him with Maya. He enjoys solitary embraces and talking with her, and is enchanted by the sweet words of the small children. Family life within the kingdom of illusory energy, Maya, is just like a prison for the eternal living entity. In prison, a prisoner is shackled by iron chains and iron bars. Similarly, a conditioned soul is shackled by the charming beauty of a woman and by her solitary embraces and talks of so-called love and by the sweet words of his small children. Thus, he forgets his real identity. Actually, in the material world, there is no love. Both the woman and the man are interested in their sense gratification. For sense gratification, a woman creates an illusory love, and the man becomes enchanted by such false love and forgets his real duty. When there are children, as a result of such combination, the next attraction is to sweet words of the children. Such a person is termed in Vedic language a Grahamedi, which means one whose center of attraction is home. Grista refers to the one who lives with family, wife, and children, but whose real purpose of living is to develop Krishna consciousness. So we don't want to be Grahamedi, we want to be Gristas. This is why Prabhupada mentions as ashram as Grista. One is therefore advised to become a Grasta and not a Grahamedi. The Grihastha's concern is to get out of the family life created by illusion and enter into real family life with Krishna. Whereas the Grahamedi's business is to repeatedly chain himself to so-called family life in one life after another and perpetually remain in the darkness of Maya. The attached householder remains in his family life, which is full of diplomacy and politics, always spreading miseries and controlled by acts of sense gratification. He acts just to counteract the reactions of all his miseries. And if he can successfully counteract such miseries, he thinks that he's happy. In Bhagavad-Gita, the personal Godhead himself certifies the material world as an impermanent place that is full of miseries. There is no question of happiness in this material world, either individually or in terms of family, society, or country. If something is going in the name of happiness, this is also illusion. Here in the material world, happiness means successful counteraction to the effects of distress. The material world is so made that unless one becomes a clever diplomat, his life will be a failure. So we are just in like a false pretense, really. So a lot of time we're just pretending with family, pretending with friends. Not to speak of human society, even in the society of lower animals, the birds and the bees cleverly manages its bodily demands of eating, sleeping, and mating. Human society competes nationally or individually, and in the attempt to be successful, the entire human society becomes full of diplomacy. We should always remember that in spite of all diplomacy and all intelligence and struggle for existence, everything will end in a second by the supreme will. Therefore, all our attempts to become happy in this material world are simply a delusion offered by Maya. He secures money by committing violence here and there, and although he employs it in the service of his family, he himself eats only a little portion of the food thus purchased, and he goes to hell for those for whom he earned the money in such an irregular way. So this goes on. We'll stop here. So it's very interesting that how we are just interested in anybody that we are offered. We are happy in that. And we actually always solving problems, one way or the other. We're always solving problems. We never find a solution. The solution is Krishna consciousness, but we're just solving problems, day-to-day problems. We're just solving them, thinking this will give me happiness. If I do this, this will give me happiness. But we never find that happiness because all these happiness are not permanent. They are just temporary solutions. This is where Prabhupada has found a permanent solution, which is Krishna consciousness. So the family, the wealth, the fame, the influence, energy, whatever we have, to find the permanent solution, we apply all these things. So we take these things with us. We don't ignore them. Okay, it's not. We don't want to be just ignoring everything and just being in a muni or just going into a forest. We're not doing that. We are Grihasthas. We live the Grihastha life, and we apply everything. We become smart in Krishna consciousness, that we can apply everything in Krishna's service. We can apply our children. We can apply our husband or wife. We can apply our wealth. We can apply our knowledge, our energy, everything. We apply it, use it to satisfy Krishna rather than just satisfying us. Because when we try to satisfy ourselves, then something always will go wrong. And plus we get bored, we use these facilities to make ourselves happy, then we want to find something else to make ourselves happy. So we never find a permanent solution. So thank you all so much. My father-in-law ji, Rukmani Mataji, Jai Prabhu, Prem Prakash Prabhu, Madhav Shyam Sundar Prabhu, Rai Kanu, Devi Dasi Mataji, Rimpi Mataji, Sarveshya Mataji. And I think we had Venkat Prabhu and Partha Prabhu, I think, was there. Yeah. Thank you all so much for joining today. And as always, we'll start with the Rukmani Mataji. What do you think of today's reading, Mataji? Hare Krishna. Hari Hari Bol, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol.
Yes, for me, very, as usual, very important class, which we have to keep in our mind, because without concentrating Krishna consciousness, good association, and we can help other people also to join with us. Without that, there is no liberation in this spiritual, in this material world. Is very, very, very contamination, and there is no other way. Just be Krishna conscious, chanting and association. That is more important things, and we are in the hands of important is we get human birth, so we can live in spiritual life and spiritual atmosphere. And of course, we are all with the Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada have taught us so many things, and we have to help ourselves and help other people to go to the hell. We help them. And human birth is very important because we can chant Krishna's name. Otherwise, in this all 84 million species, we have to suffer that. So we better keep ourselves in Krishna consciousness, and the association, good association, like all these sanghas and temples. So it will be very helpful for our future. And the chanting is the best thing Prabhupada has taught us. So it is not the hard thing to be with the good association. So to look after soul, we shouldn't be misled. So everything depends upon association. So I think we are in a best place in the Krishna consciousness. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy. That's it. Easiest way to live the life. Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. Nicely explained, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Jai Prabhu is listening. Request Prabhu is, Rai Kanumati, would like to make any comments on this?
Haribo, Haribo.
Haribo.
I just arrived from Hong Kong, and we are now in Birmingham to start our life here. So I would like to say it's very appreciated that the devotees is very nice and very kind to us, and we hope to join the I hope to have some service to uh, uh, to ISKCON in Birmingham. So I'm really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. And thank you for coming to the Sunday programs, and please keep joining. And we'll
Yes,
look
sure.
And this week we have Sarvashriya Mataji. She's giving class. So I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Rimpi Mataji would like to say something?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I joined this class quite after a long time.
Anything that you found interesting in the reading is fine.
No, I really like today's session actually. Yes, we are so, we get so entrapped in our like material happiness in our families and all that. Like at the moment, I am like completely busy with my grandchildren and
good example.
New baby born, that I haven't got time for anything really. But I try to like find time now, as you know, the family is more settled down and everything is more settled down. I think we need to find time for our spiritual advancement and for our spiritual, because I really like these Sunday Sangha programs. And you know, Friday morning it was difficult for me because I was going to work, but today I found the time and I thought, no, I attend the session and I learned something. And I learned that, you know, we shouldn't dissolve so much in our like material happiness and all that. We should So I actually learned something. Every time I attend a session, even for half an hour, I take something with me and I start thinking about that. And I think it is really good that even though you are so busy, like if you find time for anything, like last Thursday, I attended a session on Bhagavad-Gita, and those young couple were so nice, and they answered my question in a way that I thought, no, this is really important. This is really important. I think this ISKCON Birmingham is such a beauty that, it gives me a focus in life. It gives me focus, and it, like, I just really like it. Yes, yeah, I really like. Even though I attended today's session, and it gave me a focus again.
Absolutely, you have to keep in mind, this is the thing, Mother. This is the thing. We might think we know everything, or we understand it, but it's this human thing, because we are in the material world, we are gristas. You have to keep reminding ourselves.
That's it. We keep our we need to top up every single week. We need to top up ourselves so that we are completely focused, and we know the purpose of our life. We know the real focus of our life, so that the miseries of this life, or the temporary happiness, doesn't hit us so hard that, and we were always focused, and remember the real purpose of our life. I think, I really liked it. I really like it yet now. Yeah, the ISKCON Birmingham. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji, for doing all of this.
Thank you, Madhuri. And Prabhupada has built a perfect platform for all of us that we can take advantage of. See, the problem is, of the 4 Purushats, we do some dharam, we do arth, but calm. We want to go far as calm. Moksha, not many people think about. Dharam, arth, calm. We think we're doing something. We do some service, and then we do work, and then we enjoy. This only goes far as enjoyment. But there's the 4th prasad is moksha, and then we also talk about devotional service after that. So that not many people follow, and this Prabhupada has taught us that there is something beyond calm, because time factor is ticking, and if we just stop in the sense gratification, the calm part of that, then life will end, and you still come back in this dangerous world again and again and again. To enjoy, you can enjoy in anybody. You can enjoy the cat or a dog or a hog. You can enjoy same enjoyment. That is what this reading today, that we are happy. We are the Maya doesn't just affect the humans, it affects the animals as well. They are happy with their situation. They can enjoy their situation. They can enjoy their food, whatever they're eating. They enjoy their partnerships. They enjoy their children. Everything they enjoy. This is how Maya works. Enjoys, and it works on every species, not just human beings. So we have to be very careful. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, so Vishya Mataji, Haribol.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
everybody. What I'll say is, most of us, most people, lack self-realization. They never think that this world is temporary and it's not gonna last forever. But they think it is permanent. So they carry on without realization that if they never think the food they're eating, the air they're breathing, the water they're drinking, who is behind that? They never realize. They just take everything for granted, that it just come itself. And they just live like animals, animal life, just eat, sleep, defend, have children. So that when the Prabhupada said they're called 2-legged animals, human. If they live like animal life, they're 2-legged animals. And they're too busy in sense gratification, and they do rituals as well. rituals, they never realize that these rituals are temporary as well, because when they do rituals, especially to the demigod, it's not permanent. They have to come to this world again and then start the same misery of birth, death, old age. And the time is running out. We never think of how to make use of the time. And Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita very nicely that Ama Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punarvito Narjuna Mamapte Tukante Punarjamna Vidaite. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, or son of Kunti, never takes birth. So never, they don't have realization that we should do something so we can go to back to Godhead and free ourselves in this miserable world. So self-realization is very, very important. And they see people growing, children are born, then they grow, then they get married, they have children, and then they get old and die. They see all this, but they never realize that one day it will gonna happen to them. That's what Yakshas Maharaj Yudhishthir, what is the most wonderful thing? That's why people see their grandfather, everybody dying, but they think they're gonna live forever. And then everything is everything is in this world, never lasts for a long time. So the only thing permanent is Krishna conscious, devotional service. You leave everything behind, but our devotional service, our bhakti, we're gonna take it and we're gonna carry in our next life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. Mataji, shall we do some chanting now? Thank you so much. We'll do a couple of rounds of chanting. And while you're on, we might as well start, Mataji, first round, and then Rukuni Mataji, you could do the second round, please. Hare Krishna.